Let there be peace and love. Welcome to Satsang. So, we came back from the Holy Land. What means holiness? What is it? What is really holy? The sense of I existing, feeling it's real, vanishing into its source is holiness. Is the self-revelation which is holiness. Everything else belongs to the same sense of I, taking itself for real, so it is in time and it's changing according to places and history. So in Satsang, the main indication is to remove the confusion, to remove suffering because of different opinions and experiences, because all that belongs to the time and space. It is in the mind of somebody waking up, going to sleep and dreaming. So Satsang points out radically to what's real to all of us, to all beings, and you may call it holiness. Sacred, because you cannot catch it and you cannot possess it, and it doesn't belong to anybody. So how lucky we are to go towards that, which is already there, the moment one doesn't listen to his mind. So, welcome. Tell me your experiences if you have any. Oh. To be empty from opinions is a luxury and a birthright of everybody. It is of a great luck to be freed from, as I said, opinions. creeds. You have been multiplying in my absence. So those who are nearly new know that you are very free to speak if you feel like, if that makes you calm, and to remove doubts if there is any. It's very important to be clear in mind, even though clarity is not realization. But it may help, because we don't know the secret in fact, but it may help when one is more empty to hear better. You already are that, you have not to search for it. So please, you can make me speak if you like. Oh, hi.
I don't know how can I.
You speak a little louder.
Yeah, so just I don't know how can I say what is in me.
There is something?
Yes.
Okay.
I find some difficulty somehow.
Where?
In the mind. So it's a real, I mean for me it's how the mind trying to attack me or something like this, very strong. Sometimes I try to do, just thought or something like what I know. But somehow, and sometimes it's not working, so I need to... So I'm starting to search in the mind solution, somehow.
Good luck.
And... no, I just tell you.
I just react.
But it's not the end, of course.
Yeah. I'm listening.
Yeah. Because in this way, in this direction, I find only hopeless and helpless and totally. So what I find the only solution for me is just trust what you try to tell, the direction, And but it's really new for me. I mean, because my whole personality, what I know, I mean, the whole mind and my whole emotions and my whole, you know, the whole what I know about
personality.
Yes.
Yeah. It's hopeless.
Yes, but there is no way to find something what I see now. So there is no solution. There is no.
Yeah, you tell what I say. There is no solution in the personality.
But my point is it's totally new for me, because before I always trying to, you know, the mind, I mean,
Okay.
when I'm feeling in the trap, I'm in a difficult situation, or in the mind, or emotions and everything, in the personality. The habit is always trying to find something in, but
yes.
So the whole thing is totally new for me.
Yeah, I'm happy. Suddenly you hear satsang. It means that, you see. Of course, before hearing what is said in satsang, one will try in personality, because he knows only that. And so it has to be a déclic. It has to be, I don't know what, suddenly one hears what has been said since years, and yet after years only, suddenly one hears. It's not in the mind. You will not find the real nature of everything and of yourself in the mind. It will be when I, who has got a mind, I, the one I think I am, vanishes from where it came, or where it vanishes. And that is not contained in time. So don't be surprised, and don't make it a big thing to, in the world of sometimes. Sometimes I'm fucked up, I am this and that, and sometimes, much less generally, I'm well and I think I am enlightened. This you cannot change, because it is the world of changing. Sometimes follows another sometimes. So the solution is absolutely not there. And that is, you can say in a way, the beauty of realizing yourself. It is that it doesn't belong to anybody. So that, what does it mean? For that, I has not to show up. A split second. And in time, the I who surrendered will appear. Sometimes this way, sometimes that way, nearly as before, and yet not like before. But there will be no problem about that. Will not rise a search. Very good. If you hear, I'm very happy. As long as this is not heard, you see, or seen, but not with the physical eyes and the, I don't know which ear it is, but one searches enlightenment in time. In time, you see. And that will always be sometimes like this, sometimes like that. But one has the utopia, the concept that the enlightened moments will be permanent one day, and so I, the one who is born, who thinks he is born, is enlightened. Then he becomes a hero, spiritual hero of his search. It will not be like that. Here there is no hero at all, and there is nothing at all.
I would just like to tell what is going on. Last time you said that, well, trust the inquiry, self-inquiry.
Yeah.
And in these weeks, yes, I'm going to tell what I've done, what I have found,
Yeah.
where I am. So every, like, I take, like, sometimes in the middle of when I'm doing something, but mostly like in the mornings or some moments during the day, I'm just kind of stopping and somehow sinking into like a quiet place.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow I don't know if it's I'm very empty and
Yeah.
something good, pleasant,
Yes.
beautiful there. And then then you know I need to do something, or mind gets active with something, and then I try to do these moments, however, during the day. And what I have just noticed is that somehow I think that I mean it's somehow beautiful process, and I have a feeling that this is kind of a process of some kind.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't feel myself that I am like everything you say resonates very much.
Mm-hmm.
But what you say about the radical split second or something, I don't think that I have experienced something like that. So I guess that, but what I know, I want to dedicate, and have already dedicated my life on this path.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I guess that my question is just that how to really live, continue on this path. Is it dropping to these silent moments, and is that what it means, in kind of practical sense? Do you understand what I'm asking?
I do. I don't have an answer as quick as you speak sometimes, and I am not thinking, so, I understood you. Let me glue, 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 glue. Okay. Yes, continue. And I will tell something. When you speak of the beauty or the sinking in quietness, you see, just what happens if you would not label it?
What?
If you would not label
Label
that, what what would happen?
How was I labeling?
Means, now I'm in a quiet moment. You see, the split second is just prior to that. You can say, I am in a quiet moment when you go back to your mind. Otherwise, how can you know? So, even if the mind expresses that, just try not to catch it and then tell me, Father. Direction is good. Because you see, if you catch a single movement of the mind, let the mind describe or speak about something uncatchable that it will express with quietness or whatever, beauty. It feeds what?
I guess, I don't know what it feeds. Like,
Okay, I tell you because it's important.
yeah.
It feeds the same I
Yeah.
who was for a moment freed from any state. Then if you say it was quiet, it was whatever word you said, if you take those as or more real than whatever was before, you feed the same I who was troubled, who went now there. And the point is not to bring I. Not to bring I. What does it mean? It's any movement starts with I. Any movement. So go to that direction and be aware that whatever description is there, your mind speaks, just don't listen to it.
It's just that it's not really right that at the moment, like in the moment when, let's call it self-inquiry, that's what it's called.
Yeah.
So it's not that in that moment I'm labeling it anyhow, in any ways.
I know,
I just
but that's
have
why I
to say
say.
somehow something here.
But that's what I say. You need what you bring in. It is more what just comes after than what made you speak like this. Because if it was what makes you speak, there will be no problem that sometimes there is a quiet moment and sometimes not. So it means you still give importance to a state. Let it be quiet. And that quiet state came because you were a split second empty, let's say, emptied from, not emptiness,
Yeah.
but emptied from I. So just inquire and don't stop at the talk of the mind.
Yeah, like denying all the thoughts, telling them to go.
Just for a moment at least.
Yeah.
Just for a moment, yes.
If I can still continue,
Yeah.
just like, because somehow the previous time you said, like, I said that, you know, I was driving a car and somehow like trying to, no, anyways,
But
you said
you are here
that,
now.
yeah, that
Okay.
you said that of course not you are doing it when you are doing something else. So that's
tell me, how can you be concentrated in self-inquiry when you drive a car?
No.
Cannot be, isn't it? Then choose a good moment for that.
Right.
Yes. Otherwise, we will be accused that the seekers make accident because they don't use their mind, and it will be a misunderstanding. Anyway, who is driving? It's the body-mind of somebody. Self-inquiry has nothing to do with that, with the actions of that. Somebody. Self-inquiry is to inquire about the subject. But if you are engaged in an action, do your action. Anyway, realizing who you are, you will know immediately at once that all this belongs to the apparent world, not to what is real, substantially.
Ganga, you sometimes mentioned inner guru. You said.
Oh, that's right.
What does it mean?
Inner guru. Yes. The context, it's very rare actually, but if the context was like this, why not? But to hear the inner guru, you need to hear the outer guru telling you, go and embrace the inner guru, which is your own self. Otherwise, if you listen directly to the inner guru, who knows if it is not a affabulation, I don't know if you say that, dream-like voice or guidance. How can you know? It's not in my language, inner guru. You know, the guru, what is the guru? Is the one who dispels ignorance. So he is outside to tell you, to indicate you, to show you your own self. Let's not put an extra inner guru. It's complicated then. because of holiness, it reminds me a sentence Papaji loved very much. I forgot from where it came. The truth exalts a holy person. Exalts, I would like to know the perfect meaning in French. Exalt. Yeah. I understood this way at least, exalt. Exalt. You understand, all of you? And of course, I trusted my master. What a wonderful saying, the truth exalt. But I was not understanding because I knew that person, the word person and the truth exalt, as if the truth would prefer or would glorify a holy person. This I was not understanding. Now I see differently, and it's in fact a beautiful sentence. Is the truth exalts a holy person means a person who doesn't take himself for a person. Still alive, maybe. So it just came because of the word holiness. And in which scriptures it was? In a Buddhist scripture, I think.
It's interesting. When you say the person, I'm reticent to speak, but the other day I listened to an interview of yours about where, in the context of the conversation with who you're having it was about God and being outside or being inside the heart, and I sat with it and it came like God's neither inside nor outside, He just is. And I think the holiness, or like the states, like the word I was speaking to yesterday, the revelation. You've got to be almost instantly, haven't you, to have a revelation.
You have to become what?
You've almost got to have an inside or an outside or an alternate, a paradox. Yeah. It just is. It's neither.
It's neither, yeah. It's neither. That's why it is very important to be able to hear the self reveals itself. You see, it is not through some media. It's not through to somebody, nor through a media of the senses, emotion or mind. The self reveals itself. It's a way to speak, but it's also a good way to say, why not? Yeah. Otherwise, we know in the history how many people got revelations. Even the seekers of today, they get revelations. But still, when the revelation is gone, or they have to go to the memory again, because it is stored, it was from the mind, so it is stored in the mind, or they wait for a next revelation. And it never stops, it's part of the search. Yeah.
It's like, that's when I've heard you say before, don't get involved in that.
Yeah.
I think Papaji said to you once, oh, you missed it. Like, and that, I don't know, that just came up, like, don't get involved in that.
Yeah,
Cause
yeah, great. Good, you see that.
The state or the sensation or you know, the object, God, or the revelation, all those things. Amazing.
That's good, yeah. Nothing will do. Even a revelation.
There has to be a person to do that, right?
Right.
could say it just is truth, you know, it's like that. What did you say, that truth?
The truth exalts a holy person.
Don't show it, be it.
It's okay.
I feel in an undefined state of consciousness, so it's difficult to.
Yeah.
My question is how to remind. I mean, how to go back to the self-consciousness, because right now I feel between two worlds.
Yeah.
I do not feel really in the present world, and I feel that some kind which is open over my head, and I'm not in this world, and I'm not in the other one.
Yeah.
So my question is how to, and I don't know how to go to remind the presence of the self.
Yeah. You just keep quiet. Don't go into remembrance, because you are it. You are it. So whatever state of consciousness you are is the play of the mind. Doesn't matter. But don't confuse yourself with any state. That is the real undefined. You cannot define yourself. You will never.
So, what can I? There's nothing to do.
Remind yourself that I am myself, whatever state is presented to me. I am myself.
And when I say, I it's not enough. I mean,
Why?
To go in this direction, when I say I am myself,
you have not gone anywhere ever, so you are always yourself. You thought you went somewhere because you believed in your mind, so you think you have to go back to yourself, and in that way you have to be reminded. In fact, in reality, you never went anywhere. In the dream you go here and there. You are yourself. And know now for certain that whatever appears, it's a play of the mind. That's all.
I understand, but I'm still in the play of the mind. So
you see them, you describe them, yeah?
Yeah.
If you describe anything, it means it's a movie. It's in the movie. So you are not a movie. You are that which makes that appear and disappear. You have not to go anywhere, you have not to know anything. You have what you have to know for a while is that surely I'm not what I can describe or feel or even know. That may be the reminder. And then you keep quiet. Having said that, you keep quiet.
When I keep quiet, I am in an undefined state of...
Remove the undefined. Remove the quality. Because you see, to say undefined, you have to make a loop. You have to, okay, I am looking, or I had this experience very recently, so I can say so. Don't make any loop. You are yourself. And yourself is everything and absolutely nothing as at the same time. So this cannot be described. There is no means to describe it. So lose the interest to know who you are.
Thank you.
Not obliged.
No. When I get into the world, the I comes after this. The I comes stronger up than before. It's really stronger. So every time I see it, but how to stop it, to go there, to the old friends, or to call with them, and that's every time after this, it's getting really. The eye comes really strong up, and with fear and pain.
So don't like them.
Yeah.
It is not a good company.
No, but in this moment when I go there, I thought, okay, yeah, it's your old friends, talk to them, and it's okay, but after this always it comes
Yeah, but you know, to speak to old friends means to speak to your past, or to go back to your past, and that makes always suffer.
Yeah.
Always. Don't go. Don't go.
Yeah.
You can live differently.
Yeah.
So, where are you when you don't go to the past?
Here. I don't go to the past, I'm at the self. So it's... yeah.
So for a while, of course, this habit is there, but just be aware of that. Just be vigilant.
Mm. Yeah, it's a habit.
Okay.
Always to...
Now you know the trick. For a while, it's very good to have the company who tells you that, you see, just because it helps. It helps to give strength.
Yeah, so I forgot it every time, so...
Doesn't matter.
I see it
Doesn't
and then
matter.
it... Yeah.
Okay, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
These processes will just disappear on its own.
Yeah.
But what else then? You will lose the belief that all this past brings you anything. It just brings you suffering because it's lost. So this is part of the movie, of the apparent world, called the story of the one I see. So just be yourself. Yes, please.
I'm confused about you said that there is no real need for spiritual experience.
There is no
real need for spiritual experiences. That's why something comes, it will go away. What is not there all the time will disappear. At the same time, all the great masters had experiences. They realized something at some point. It's not like it was they knew that before. So they were before and after. So
no.
It looks like it's important.
Yeah, okay. You see, you speak of the event of realization, I would say. And this event of realization, if it is taken for real, as any other experience, it will also go away. So the real event of realization is when you don't take realization, means the fact that you have seen, you will always have been yourself for the experience. So there is no beginning and no end there. You always have been yourself. You just believed in your mind before. You just believed in experiences.
But the experience of oneness, the feeling that of being, all this is not here now for me. I don't feel one with everything. And one day, like the master, like Ramana, he said, everything is the self, everything is one, so something changed.
No, because it is trying to express what he has always been. Not that the person suddenly, as a person, became one and eternal and so on. His sense of I disappeared. And it's written on such a date, it happened when I was 16. That is the event. The event of realization means at that precise moment, the I disappeared as reality. But there is nobody who realized. The realization is exactly when there is when the self reveals itself, which is the same to everybody or of everybody. It's the same for everybody. Do you see?
I think so, that when I try to meditate or to practice self-inquiry, I'm always looking for this moment where it will disappear, where I will disappear, which, I don't know.
If you look at that moment, it may not happen because I is very busy trying to see when it will disappear. It's impossible. So maybe you don't know, maybe you have to see better the direction of self-inquiry. You see, what is self-inquiry? It is to ask, who is this I who wants to realize? It's because you want to realize, no? So, who is this I? Who am I? The answer will be where the question disappears, where you are left without catching the next rising thought.
But the answer, I don't know, it doesn't look like it can be this, because it's so...
Who says
there is no fireworks.
Who says so?
I know, but...
It's the mind. It's the mind. You didn't give enough time to I to disappear as reality. As soon as you step into that direction, you jump on a feeling or on a concept. Your mind will tell, oh, it's so boring, it's so nothing that it cannot be that. Huh? So don't listen to that. You see, the mind present what is cherished experience you have or you had or you want to have. It must be something better than what you know in the ordinary life. The mind presents big bang, you will explode, you will this and that, and then you see in the scriptures oneness and feeling and joy and bliss and whatnot. Isn't it? That's why you have to burn all the scriptures and everything. Because their description doesn't even describe an inch of it.
That's the thing, isn't it? It's like that's the thing, isn't it? If where there's a quality and it becomes involved, the person or it doesn't have a quality. You know, it almost doesn't have a quality. It is, and then you're getting involved in something as soon as there's a quality. So like a revelation or anything. It passes, like you said to me yesterday, and you hold on to that, and then the mind's back in the game.
Doesn't matter. He will always come back. It belongs to this life.
Yeah.
That is wisdom, not to go back as reality to anything which arises. This is wisdom. The rest is mindfulness. For the mind, you see, there is never a final point of enjoyment. It will, even if you go beyond, it will present you a better beyond. It's like that. This is the mind. You have to know that. So don't be deluded by what the mind presents you. Rather ask, who is the subject of that mind? As experiences, otherwise you have to go to all the people who take drugs. Harder the drug is, more the experience is strong, you see. It's not like that. One has to be fed up to have experiences because he has seen enough that anyway, I am not satisfied. Whatever I'm living, whatever I try, I am not satisfied. So what do I search? And here, the self-inquiry may be a jewel to follow. Finally, another direction. Not towards the beyond that the mind presents, but going back from where this thought of I arose.
Hi, Ganga.
Hi.
I would like to ask you about the feeling.
About what?
About feeling in general. Sometimes I feel very connected and I'm very good, but sometimes very disconnected. And I would like to actually get out of this cycle because it's very exhausting.
Very good.
Yeah, so how do I do it?
Whatever you connect to or whatever you disconnect with, don't care. It speaks only about this body-mind that I see and that you know. So it is not speaking about your real self.
So you mean even the feel? Like whatever you feel in this moment, you just you don't identify with it, you mean?
Exactly.
You just let it be and that's it.
Let it pass. Let it be, no. Let it pass.
But why does it end like this observing, you know? It's like,
No, you don't be an observer. It's still an headache. Then what? What shall I do with this observer? It's too much. No, you don't need to be anything. And all those stories of connecting, disconnecting, forget it. Forget it. It is just another chapter of a huge book which is called A Personal Life and its journey. Very exhausting. You can be freed from it. You can give it here if you like. I have already many books. And a big fire. I'm very ready. All because we believe, and we don't question that belief, that I am not myself, so I have to work for it. And then comes, I'm sometimes connected, I'm sometimes disconnected, and all that. You are always yourself. For that, you have to discard, you have to not to grasp the thought, I'm not realized. So what happens?
That's the trouble at the other end. If you have that revelation, or that, you know, I've used quotations, and you identify with that quality, whatever it was, that experience, you then look, you're then looking for that, you believe that to be what it is, and that's not what it is.
Very good, yes.
Spending time
that.
looking for that experience.
If it is not here now, even if the past something was looking more real, it's not real. What's real is what is here now, but don't catch any sense of feeling or concept to know what it is. Just keep quiet. You are yourself already. So
it's like, rather than saying I'm realised, or going down that from that experience of a revelation, or I'm not realised, it just is, isn't it? Like,
this is the mind. The mind speaks.
Leave it all in.
Yes. Yes.
It's not natural, is it? If you don't leave it all in, it's not. It's not, it's fake.
It is the most natural, whatever, but the mind will tell it's not natural because it has been used up to now. No. So it doesn't want to be defeated.
I meant it's not natural if you go with that. Rather than just be.
Okay. It's okay. It's okay.
I know. Yeah. The self, that it doesn't achieve a state, it just is. And like this whole concept that in the really?
It's true, dear. It's true.
You were looking over there, I was over here. Alright then. I only say that because there's a lot of concepts out there. You know, even around satsang, and that's
Yes, where the mind
expressing
goes, there is always a concept. There is always a concept. Oh, I am for satsang. No, you should not go to satsang. And this and that. If the mind talks, it will always be with concepts. So that's why, you see, what a luck to just not listen to the mind.
and naturally expressed.
Not too quickly.
Not
too quickly.
Yeah, you got me there.
So, yes.
So you say it takes only a split second. You say it takes only a split second to realize. And all of us, I guess, and many other people have been practicing for a long time.
Oh, yes.
What prevents us to realize now? Why?
The mind. They believe in the mind.
But for short time, I managed not to listen. But
You think so? You think so? The proof is there. If you continue to search, you never gave yourself a split second free. And from what you told me, I believe so. So don't worry. You know now, or maybe you heard something different. So go that way. The way you know didn't work. But you know, for that split second, it's true that we, all of us, generally, we spent years and years and years trying to break our head and whatnot to realize. Up to you just put your arms, your tools, your weapons, you give them up. I am failed. I failed. I fail now. I cannot do anything. blessed moment.
Mm.